Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binaries of all ages, welcome to How to Make a Literal Cat in Your Favorite RPG. We hope you're not here to learn character creation the right way, because this is the Cat Creation Podcast, hosted by me, Joel, and also...
me, Avalon. Guest starring
me! Hi, I'm Jack.
Hello, Jack.
Hello, Jack. Welcome.
Hi, yeah. How do you feel about cats, as a monster of some description?
I feel like we've done that once. We definitely did that. In Monster of the Week, we made our cat a monstrous.
I see.
Why do you ask?
Yeah.
Well, because I have been asked to bring you a game of an obscure nature, and I have shown you the truth, the way, and the life. Monsters and Other Childish Things, my favorite RPG ever.
Interesting. Oh yeah, by the way, you want to tell our audience a little about yourself, your RPG/podcasting/ whatever else relevant experience you think you might have to be here?
Okay. So my relevant experience is that a bunch of my friends saw a Tumblr post 2 months ago about looking for guests for this very podcast. And they were like, oh, Jack, you're a big GM lady. Why don't you do this thing and ask them to be on the podcast? And I was like, what? That's crazy. But I did it anyway. I've been GMing since 2009. I got a certain red box with a little dragon on the cover, and perhaps the dragon was in a dungeon of some description, and maybe it was the fourth iteration of this sort of thing. And I would basically just force anyone who would listen to me for more than 5 seconds to play a game, and they were all really bad. But every time that I forced another schmuck to play with me, I would get a little less bad, and it is all kind of coalesced into now I'm a hobbyist game designer. I don't really put anything out, but this is my space. I absorb all of this stuff like a sponge. And Monsters and Other Childish Things is a game that I was introduced to in high school by a friend of mine, and it is very itself. And there's nothing that I have ever seen like it. It's like if every character was a pet class, but the pet was everything that mattered about the game.
Neat. So yeah, the post in question, if anyone's been following along this long, when I was trying to do a call out for getting a Thirsty Sword Lesbians guest, obviously we ended up with Misha, who worked on the game, but that post escaped containment somehow. Okay, I know how it happened. I know exactly who reblog of that post ended up being the chain from which everyone else saw it. I ended up with 10, I think, people wanting to do the Thirsty Sword Lesbians episode. And I got from that every guest you've heard from June to October, I want to say, is someone who agreed to guest because of the Thirsty Sword Lesbian post.
That's incredible. That's a lot of people from one call out.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, after September, I am out of guests. So I don't know. I'm going to need to hope another call-out post goes out and goes viral for our Wild West Winter episodes, but...
I know a few cowboys. I'll give them a holler.
All right, you do that.
You think my grandpa would want to be on a podcast?
You could ask.
He does. I guarantee you he doesn't even know what a podcast is.
It's like a radio show.
I think if I told him that, he might be like, yeah, sure, but, does he play RPGs? Yeah. Absolutely not.
Well, I think after Finn, we've learned our lesson about bringing a guest on who doesn't know the game. So,
yeah.
Anyway, that's enough about that. Is there anything else relevant we should know about Monsters and Other Childish Things before we go into the cat creation rules, you think?
I actually don't know if the publisher, still exists. Hold on, let me look them up real quick. Okay, they are still doing stuff. Okay. Oh, it's Arc Dream, the people who are doing Delta Green. That's,
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting. We've not done Delta Green yet.
I have only heard of Delta Green, but what I have heard is pretty cool.
I got like a 20-minute pitch on Delta Green by one of the developers at Gen Con one year.
Ooh.
Wow.
Still haven't played it.
So not very selling of them.
I mean, the problem is that I had run out of money by that point.
Oh, okay. So unfortunate
I would have bought
timing.
the book otherwise. Yeah.
Creators of Delta Green, if you're listening.
We need those review copies. Let's go.
Hit us up.
But yeah, Monsters and Other Childish Things is, I believe it's a hack of another game called Wild Talents by Greg Stolz. I don't know if you've heard of that one. This is like 2000s era RPGs where like there was a certain game involving a dungeon and there are some wyverns, and then there was everything else kind of like fighting for scraps in a junkyard. And Wild Talents is another game that I have played that is very cool. It's about like superheroes, and like the core like engine of this game is really interesting, and I have never seen anything like it before or since, where you build a dice pool of D10s. There's only D10s, and what you want to get to like succeed depends on how fast or how accurate you want it done. And you're rolling a pool of dice to get like matching numbers. It's not just like high number wins.
Neat. We've got one thing to do before we get into it, but let's do that so we can get into it.
Exactly. What do we have to do, Joel?
We have to read the cat creation rules.
Ooh. Sorry, hold on. I can do that better. Woo! How was that? I just peaked my audio so hard.
That's okay. We'll fix it in post. But yes, the show has its own rules that we have to follow so that we do not stray from our mission, which is to make the most literal of cats as possible for the system, or setting, or whatever we're working with. So, first of these rules is we accept no cop-outs. This is the most important one, for obvious reasons. We're making a cat, the first animal that comes to mind when I say the word. No anthropomorphic races, no people turned into a cat, no lions, no tigers, no construction equipment.
Exactly. Rule number 2 is we cannot use homebrew/house rules. If rules in the rulebook don't allow us to do something, we count it as a rule broken. If we come across a rules as written versus rules as intended situation, usually the intended one will make us break a rule.
Mm-hmm. If the game includes stats for a literal cat, those must be used or adapted to the game's character sheet. Is that gonna be a thing?
I made like triple sure that there was or wasn't a cat stat block, and there for sure is not.
Okay.
All right.
Well, there we go.
Rule number 4 is the character, class, background, playbook, job, what have you, must exist in the game's core rules or as part of an official expansion.
Yep. Rule number 5 is the cat can learn any skill available to its class, even if it's not something a cat could normally be trained to do.
Rule number 6 is if a tool would be physically impossible for a literal cat to use, even if comically downsized for them, they cannot use it.
Any examples?
Man, I'm all out of examples. We've made some cats do some wild stuff on this podcast. I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
Bolt cutters? But probably not.
Yeah, I don't think we ever made a cat do bolt cutters.
A lock and key?
Have we done a lock-picking cat? I don't think we have.
Yeah, I don't think so, which is incredible, honestly, with our cats have an affinity for crime rule.
Yeah. Rule number 7 is, if a character sheet has a section that is meant to be filled out in collaboration with the whole table, we will leave that blank so potential players can make it fit the group they're playing with.
And finally, rule number 8 is, we have to keep track of every rule that we break.
And there we go. Now, on to the game. Now, I guess there's one thing we need to clarify. This game actually has 2 sheets. We have our main character, our child, and then we have our monster. So which one is going to be the cat?
Well, when I was first pitching this game to you, this was something that you had brought up that we would have to pick whether the cat is the child or the monster. And now, like 2 months on, I'm still not sure which would be funnier. The obvious answer is to bring in an expansion for this game called Bigger Bads. But that is a cop-out because I really, really would want a kid with a cat that is a monster, or a cat with a monster that is just something completely different.
That is a tough decision.
What if it was both?
What if they were both cats?
What if they were both?
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
goodness.
There's so much cat per cat in this podcast.
We're breaking new ground.
There you go, guys. More cat per cat this episode.
Yes.
2 cats for the price of 1.
The cat density is off the charts.
We haven't had this much cat density in an episode that wasn't a lightning round since Overarms.
True. Alright, so, double cats. How do we make a character in this game?
It is actually quite easy.
Oh, I'm sure we'll make it hard. We'll find a way to fuck it up.
If you're doing it the normal way, it is quite easy. So
we'll see.
our stats are dice pools. Kind of like if you remember the Vampire the Masquerade episode. I've watched all of these ones. You know how like in Vampire each dot like assembles a pool of dice?
Yes.
Right.
It is almost exactly like that. Except instead of dots, it's just like, they just like completely don't abstract it at all. And it's just like, this is the amount of dice that you have in this stat. So like, your stats are like, if you have 3 hands, your stat is hands 3D. And D is dice, and it's always D10s. And there are no other dice in this game. It's all D10s all the way down. So normally, kids have 5 stats, and they are feet, guts, hands, brains, and face. And every stat starts at 1, and you have 10 dice to allocate to each of those 5 stats.
Okay. So, I see kind of what we're looking at here. We've got this performance evaluation
Yes.
box over here.
Hit locations are a whole other thing. I can explain them to you real quick, but they will not matter until we're making the monster.
Okay. We'll see about that then when we get there. So are we going to do our stats first, or we want to come up with a name and stuff first? Because according to the book, that is step 1.
Okay, well, let's think of a name for this cat. So the setting of Monsters and Other Childish Things presupposes like an everywhere USA kind of like small town America. So
incredible. I grew up in a small town in America, so
I also
grew up.
Wow.
Wow, small world.
Small world in a town in America.
Exactly.
It was different small towns, just for everyone's reference.
God, what's a small town name? Wyatt.
Ooh, Wyatt. Wyatt is a good name for a cat.
It's a good name for a small town person as well.
True.
There were, I think, 2 Wyatts in my school growing up.
I didn't have any Wyatts, but I had a Wally.
Oh, I had a Wally, too.
I didn't have a Wally. I knew one Wyatt.
Interesting.
He went to a different school, though.
Oh, so we wouldn't know him.
Yeah.
We can go with Wyatt, unless you guys got another pick.
No, Wyatt's good.
All right.
Wyatt is great.
Now, Wyatt's 2 T's, right?
Yeah.
It seems like a 2T name.
Sounds about right. Parents and guardians.
Now we have to make some really hard-hitting decisions. Is this cat just like a stray? Or perhaps does the field for parents and guardians suppose that there is some sort of crazy cat lady in town that does not know that one of the cats that she's taking care of is actually a monster?
I do like that idea.
We can't deny the possibility. So, who is this town cat lady?
Yeah.
Ava.
Ooh, Ava? That's a good one.
All right.
Boom. Making great strides here.
God, we're breezing through this, easy peasy. Birthday. What's a small town birthday?
July, I think.
July. Okay.
Look, I was born in July. I had so many classmates who were either born in January or July.
Yeah, those J months will get you.
I'm thinking of like a very like small town date. I'm looking at a calendar right now, and I'm like honing in on like July like 23rd. Like that is just, that's such like a nothing date where like nothing has ever happened except Wyatt was there.
Okay, July 23rd. Now, what year? What year does this set in?
Ooh,
What year did this game release?
2007.
Okay, so if we assume the game takes place the year that it released, then this cat was probably born like 2 or 3 years before that, right? So like 2004 or 5?
2004 sounds pretty good.
2004, I like that.
I like the idea of 2004 just as a year.
Okay. Did something happen to you in 2004?
I think that's when I gained sentience. That's not true. What happened to me in 2004?
Halo 2 came out in 2004.
Oh, true.
No, never mind.
Who got elected in 2004?
George Bush?
Was it George Bush again?
Yeah, that was second term George W.
George the W. Bush.
I was looking to see if there was a Sonic the Hedgehog game that released that year, but I can't find one.
I was thinking
At least not like a mainline console one.
I was thinking about Shadow the Hedgehog, but I think that came out
2005.
Shadow,
was it 5?
Yeah, Shadow
okay.
was 2005.
How do we feel about changing this to 2005?
I mean, okay.
2005, good year. You know, nice divisible number. That's all I got. Yeah.
I was just looking it up to make sure, but Sonic Heroes released in 2003, so there was no, like, mainline console Sonic game in 2004.
Oh my goodness.
A dreary year.
Sonic Heroes.
God, what a good game.
So, sorry to like completely derail, but
It's fine.
I was kind of a stupid kid back then, and I did not know that there was a spoilers for Sonic Heroes, a game that none of you are ever going to play.
I already beat it.
I didn't know that there was like a secret final story, and I learned that there was like a last like level 2 years ago.
Oh wow, really?
So
you never beat Metal Overlord?
No, I never beat Metal Overlord. I did all the little stories, and I did the Sonic team and the Dark team, and then the Team Chaotix, and then the other one with Amy, and I don't remember what they were called. And then I finished.
Yep.
Yes, Team Rose. And then I finished them all, and I was like, that was a pretty good game.
Nice. I will never forget being at my grandparents' house with my cousins, because we used to love the Sonic games. Beating that final one and going back to the screen and being like, why is there another option here? God, what a night. A night that presumably took place in 2005. Alright.
Quite possibly.
So we got Wyatt, son of Ava the cat lady, born on July 23rd, 2005. I think we know what gender Wyatt is.
Most likely male, right?
Most likely.
But, maybe, Ava, her eyes are kind of going. Who knows?
Wyatt could be anything. It wouldn't be the first person who has mistaken the gender of a kitten.
True. We had a cat. I can't remember what her name was, but we had to rename a cat to Blair like a year after we got her because we thought it was a guy.
Goodness. Putting that box right in the center.
Yeah, we don't know the gender.
This non-binary cat and their monster.
There you go.
We could just put a question mark in the M slot.
That's true.
True.
Now we know what Wyatt probably is.
Probably. On to the next step. This game supposes that you are an ostensibly American child going to ostensibly American public schooling.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to decide amongst ourselves, does this cat go to school?
I think if it's part of the character sheet, they have to be sending this cat to school for some reason.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do all the kids have to go to the same school is the main question.
There's no textual rule that says that they all have to be classmates.
Okay.
So they could be going to obedience school.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Ooh. That's something.
Yeah, he's over in the obedience school learning how to spin around.
What do they train cats to do?
Probably like not meow or something.
Maybe. I saw someone who trained their cat to play fetch. That was interesting.
Incredible.
I've seen cats do tricks.
Like on a skateboard or
no, like sit and shake and like roll over and stuff like a dog would. I forget what it's called, but there's this thing that like when cats are very young, they go through this like socialization period and they kind of like intuit what kind of animal they are based on the animals that are around them. So like if a cat is raised with other cats, it will consider itself like that and act like they saw in their childhood. But if a cat is like raised around dogs, it will act like a dog and it will have a gait like a dog.
I've seen that before.
They might even bark.
Yeah, I've seen cats bark. It's weird.
Freaks of nature.
It's also my understanding that, like, if you have a really talkative cat, it's probably because that cat was talked to a lot as a kitten.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So I've come up with a name for this school. I shall spitball this idea. I have Jonathan Nebula's obedience school. We can change the last part of that.
Who is Jonathan Nebula?
Is that not the My Cat from Hell guy?
It is a close recreation of the My Cat from Hell guy.
Okay.
Because his name is Jackson Galaxy, I'm pretty sure.
That's right.
Oh. Gotcha. I gotcha now. Yeah, Jonathan Nebula is cat
savant.
What?
Cat savant. Is that what Jackson's Galaxy calls himself? A cat savant?
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I can see it.
He might. Who knows? I barely know that show.
I've seen like 2 episodes of it, and it's just him being like, yeah, this person told me that their cat sucks. And then he goes to their house, and then he looks at their cat, and he's like, yeah, man, this cat sucks. I'm gonna take him away for a bit. Then he comes back, and he's like, your cat's fixed now. Not fixed like that. Fixed like they're better at obedience.
Your cat's more chill.
Gave him some catnip. He was cool about it. He didn't rat me out.
Anyway, yeah, sure. Jonathan Nebula's cat savant. That works, I think. And then now we have to decide our grade level.
If you were playing this game normally, which we are of course not doing.
Of course.
This is less of like an actual like mechanical like thing and more of like this is the age range of the character.
Gotcha.
There are like this game has like themes and stuff in it. like many other things that are fictional, it has themes, and it has a lot of like the unique pressures of growing up like through adulthood, and like there's this whole thing about how like monsters can only like make their special bonds with very emotionally vulnerable people like children.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's what this is about.
We need the thing like this story has themes, like we have the Silent Hill screenshot that says this game contains images.
Wait, I'm sorry, what? This game contains images?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you've never seen that?
So
I'm about to look it up.
There's this
or this game contains scenes, isn't it?
Yeah, so back in the day, for some reason, a bunch of Capcom games would have like a content warning. It's like, this game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore. It was in Resident Evil. It was in some of the early Devil May Cry games.
Mm-hmm.
And very recently, I want to say I saw it in like 2018 or something like that. There was like something where it was like a meme where like someone like photoshopped this content warning to be like, this game contains scenes, just like generically.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
Yeah, I put one in the chat.
Yep. This game does contain scenes. Love that.
So yeah, we need one for this game that's just, this story contains themes. But anyway, I think if it would make sense, like whatever the equivalent of like a grade 1 in cat obedience school.
I imagine that this cat is in cat elementary school. That is what obedience training is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So our homeroom teacher is obviously Jonathan Nebula.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine if it wasn't him? It's like some other guy. Oh no, it's just for the branding. He's not actually here.
I bought rights.
I bought rights. Some guy named Frank at the front desk.
Next is the name of our monster.
Yep.
Alright, so we have Wyatt. Are we going under the assumption that Wyatt has named this monster, or...
Either Wyatt or Ava.
Yeah.
Which one of them would have done it?
I would assume Ava, because if we're going under the impression that Ava has, like, this monster in her home and she just doesn't know about it because she's taking care of so many animals, like, I think she would name it. See, Ava named Wyatt. So what name would Ava give to a general monster?
One moment. Question.
Okay.
Answer.
When did Monsters, Inc. come out? 2001?
I want to say that sounds close to... It is 2001.
So what if this was Sullivan?
Sullivan.
Ooh,
I like that. Sullivan spelled with one L or two?
Two.
I thought you were going to go the...
I'll be honest with you. Sullivan Monsters, Inc. was not who I thought of first. I thought of a completely different Sullivan when I first had that idea, but then I was like, wait a minute. Sullivan's called Kitty all through Monsters, Inc. 1. So...
Oh my gosh, the size of your brain.
Wow, that's incredible.
So I don't think this is literally that. I don't think it's literally Sullivan from Monsters, Inc.
I think it is a weird cat that is somehow evocative of Sullivan from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah. Maybe it's got the spots in his fur or something.
Ooh, that's good. Like a calico.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get. So, still on step 1 here, I believe we've got appearance, age, favorite thing, and then a bad thing we did.
Yes, a bad thing you did and a good thing you did. I actually don't know what the bad and good thing is used for. I think that's just like character stuff.
Gotcha.
But
Probably.
The rules say that we have to have it, though.
Yep.
What do we think Wyatt's favorite thing would be?
Wyatt's favorite thing?
Thinking something generic like yarn.
I was
classically
going to say,
trained cat.
I was going to say cups on the edge of the table.
Oh. Favorite thing, cups on the edge of the table. Bad thing he's done, knocked off the cups on the edge of the table.
There you go!
All right, well, that's easy.
Right.
That's how he ended up in obedience school.
There you go. The character writes itself.
Truly. All right.
There's not really a spot for good thing and bad thing, so I think we just have to leave that under comments.
Yeah.
I think we do put that in the comments.
It's a bad thing, obviously knock the cups off.
Yep.
And then the good thing, dutiful lap cat.
Dutiful lap cat. I was thinking, like, what is it that cats do that are good? Most cats that I have known in my time have a propensity for evil.
Yeah, we've always said cats have a natural affinity for crime.
Yeah.
I can't think of good heroic deeds that cats are known for otherwise.
Yeah.
Now, what's this cat's personality?
Let's see. I'm trying to think, like, probably very outgoing and stuff. Likes attention because of faithful lap cat. And also, if we're saying that Ava has, like, a lot of cats that she takes care of, she's not going to send all of them to Jonathan Nebula's cat savant school.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's only going to be the problem cats, right?
Exactly.
So what's this cat's problem? I mean, obviously we know bad thing, knock cups off the counter. Maybe this cat is just kind of like, has a destructive curiosity.
I like that. That's good wording.
Appearance, this sounds very orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a cat who means well, but is dumb as a box of rocks.
Yep, that sounds
With
good.
a polite face.
Sounds
I'm
good.
imagining the meme cat that's just like smiling really awkwardly, but there's something devious.
Okay, I'll let him stay because he's very polite.
Yeah. But there's something devious going on behind Wyatt's eyes.
Alright, sounds good. And now I think we're on to the stats. You were explaining this earlier. We have 5 stats that each throw at 1 die, and we have 10 dice to divide up between them.
Yes.
Up to 5D in any one stat.
Yes.
So, what is Wyatt good at?
My initial reaction is that he's good with feet. He's got 4 of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Which would then naturally make him bad with hands.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, no opposable thumbs. Probably not that good with hands. I agree, though. We've got 4 of them. We gotta be good at feet.
I'm thinking that Wyatt has to be good at feet and face, because who would ever not find a cat charming, you know?
Yeah. I think we gotta put 4 in feet, 1 for each foot.
I was thinking the
there we
same
go.
thing. So 4 in feet, then do we want to say like a 1 in hands?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll leave hands alone.
Okay. And then
So we have 7 dice to tribute to other things.
Face probably should also be like a 4 or 5,
I
right?
think 4.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So there's 6 of our points out of the way. I feel like we should put some points in guts.
Yeah.
Because I see one of the skills is wrestling, and there are a lot of cats for Wyatt to wrestle.
True.
Absolutely.
3 maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we've got 3,
3, 6,
5.
8.
So we have 2 left, so we can make brains a 3. Or we could bump guts up to 4, make brains a 2.
I'm thinking guts for brains 2.
Yeah, I mean, Wyatt
That
seems
sounds good.
very lovable, but he does not seem like the brightest bulb on the chandelier.
Nah.
Okay, so now we have skills. Each skill starts at 0, but you have 15 skill dice to put in whichever skills you'd like.
Oh boy.
Most of the actions that you would feasibly do in the game are handled by the skills that are already on the character sheet.
Okay.
But if we had maybe, if we were very nice to the GM and we were like, hey, we're playing a literal cat, could we have a special skill that's just like a thing that we can do? Like when in the examples, there's like, you know, maybe your character has a learner's permit and can like drive a car, and so like you can have that as a skill. Like, has a learner's permit. Like, that's your skill.
I kind of think if we can make up one skill, I feel like jumping would be a good skill to add to feet.
Jumping is something that is covered by PE.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like in the example.
Okay.
I can read it out if you'd like.
Go.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
go for
please.
Okay, so our feet skills are PE, kicking, and dodging. PE is for running, jumping, climbing trees. Kicking it's for kicking.
it.
And dodging is for getting out of the way. Our gut skills are wind, courage, and wrestling. Wind is health, breath, and fitness. So it's like stamina, stuff like that. Courage is going to be what it sounds like. And wrestling is grabbing hold and squeezing and not letting go till the other guy says you're the boss of him. That is how they put it word for word in the book.
Interesting.
Our hand skills are shop, punching, and blocking. Shop is going to be like more like fine motor skill, like dexterity stuff, which we're naturally going to be very low in because we do not have opposable thumbs.
Right.
Punching is going to be, it's kind of like kicking, but with your hands. And blocking is, they have it written down as using a thing to stop a thing from hitting you in the thing.
Okay. Interesting wording.
Our brain skills are outthink, remember, and notice. Outthink is going to be your ability to like act quickly with like, you know, your brain. I believe that brains plus outthink is the equivalent of the initiative roll in this game. Remember is going to be like keeping up with details and like recalling relevant information when you need it. And notice is spotting the forest and the trees and the squirrels and the Bigfoot too. Finally, we have face, which are charm, put down, and connive. Charm is going to be what it sounds like. Connive is also what it sounds like. You know, you're lying, tricking, you know, other kids. And put down is going to be a character's ability to hurt someone with their words.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like we should have high notice.
Yes, and everything starts at 0. I also wonder if we should have high kicking, because that is the main way. I don't know if you've ever seen cats, like, hunt, but the way that they kill their prey, content warning for animal death, the way that cats generally kill their prey is that they grab their target and then they start kicking the bottom of this creature so that its neck snaps.
Oh, that's what they're doing.
Yes, that is what that action with their hind leg is. That is a hunting instinct to kill birds and other small rodents.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. So how many points to each is the question?
I think that outthink and remember we can dump.
Yep.
Put down we can dump. Connive?
I don't know. I think cats... I don't want to rule out connive. It's a thing cats do sometimes.
Cats are conniving. I had a situation where one time, I had a cat once upon a time, and I had pulled an all-nighter, and right around breakfast time, so it's like 5 a.m, my cat walks into my office and meows at me, and like very clearly leads me, sleep deprived, to the wet food. So, and I was like, oh yeah, it is the end of the day, isn't it? You should get your wet food. So I prepare her little wet food, and she's like all like lovey-dovey on me. And it's as I'm putting the food in front of her that I realized what I've done and how I got tricked and bamboozled by a creature who is no smaller than like a 2-year-old child.
It's like that sometimes. But anyway, I think obviously we need points in PE because we want that like jumping power.
Yeah, we want running, jumping. You know, cats are naturally gifted in these sorts of things.
Yep, just not the endurance running and all that. So obviously we want some points in PE.
Yeah.
That's important.
I'm thinking 3.
That sounds good.
3 sounds good, yeah.
Kicking, I think, was another one we discussed.
Maybe 2.
2? Okay.
Rolling 6 dice at the beginning of the game is actually quite a lot.
Ah, okay.
And of course, we're going to be improving this character later. So we don't really need to. We have things like experience points to gain and adventures to go on, so it'll be fine.
Of course. Do we think this cat is good at dodging things? Or is it getting the craft stingle stuck to its head?
Absolutely getting that craft single slapped on his face.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that game. Oh my god. Yeah, no, Wyatt's getting cheesed.
Yep.
Okay. So, no dodging points. We obviously need wrestling points.
Absolutely. I'm thinking we're like wrestling 4 or 5.
Wrestling 4 sounds good. That means we've used, 9 of our 15 points?
Yeah.
Yes. 6 left.
Do we want points in courage? I feel like that might explain part of why we're bad at dodging.
True. I think we do get away with like a 1 or 2.
Yeah, let's do 1.
Alright.
So we got 5 points left.
I don't think we want anything in hands, right?
No.
Okay. And then we ruled out Outthink and Remember.
But we want some notice.
And I'm thinking that what we don't put in notice, I think we just put it all in charm.
Yep.
True.
He's very polite.
So we've got 5 points left, right?
Yes.
How we feel about 3 notice?
I'm down with it.
Okay. And then 2 charm.
Woo.
So no points in conniving. Someone will have to level him up for that.
That's fine.
He'll become more conniving the older he gets, you know?
We have a built-in arc where Wyatt learns to lie or something.
Oh, that's true, because he becomes more well-behaved, but because of his nature, he wants to do this bad stuff, so he has to lie about it to get away with it.
There we go.
There we go. Hey guys, hope you've been enjoying this episode of How to Make a Literal Cat in Monsters and Childish Things. That's the name of the game, right?
Monsters and Other Childish Things. But yeah.
That's the full name.
Yeah. But yes, hope you've been enjoying the listen. We're here to break that a little bit. So sorry to ruin your immersion. But we've got some stuff to talk about for the show.
Do podcast audiences typically care about immersion?
I mean, maybe not for a show like ours, but like, I guess if you're listening to a more serialized, is that the word I'm looking for?
Maybe.
Narrative. If you're listening to a more narrative-driven one, I guess, yeah. I think a mid-roll can kind of take you out of that.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Anyway, y'all probably know the deal at this point. We have a website now. It's badgertrove.com/literalcatpod.
Yeah, over there you can find tons of cool stuff all about the show and the hosts, aka us. You can find stuff like our email, which is literalcatpod@gmail.com. You can find links to our other social media sites, or to our pages on other social media sites, such as Twitter, Tumblr, Blue Sky, YouTube, stuff like that.
Yep, technically TikTok too, but like, who has time to make TikToks?
TikTokers, I guess.
Yeah, true. Anyway, I do need to get, like, profiles for me, you, and, like, any other, like, members of Badger Trove at some point. Mm. One of the things that you can find up there, aside from our social medias, is our email address, which is literalcatpod@gmail.com.
I said that one, Joel.
Oh, you did? My bad.
You're good.
Oh, well, whatever. You can send us pictures of your cats. You can recommend games for us to check out. Really, the sky's the limit. Keep it appropriate, but, you know, if it's related to our show, we will like to see your emails.
Yeah.
Aside from social media, we have a Discord now, which I created as a failsafe in case social media presences get even more fragmented. Like, I'm already keeping the show up on 3 social medias because Twitter is falling apart, but...
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, those seams are coming pretty loose, but it's still up and running, so...
Yep.
But yeah, over on the Discord, you can engage in topical conversation. Joel and I hop in there from time to time, chat a little bit. So yeah, if you want to hang out, talk about the show, or other TTRPG-related stuff, come on in.
Yeah. Sometimes you might even hear from a previous guest. Maybe, if they feel like it. Don't like bother them.
Yeah. Yeah, don't ping people, please.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go to badgertrove.com/Discord to learn more. You can also, we would really, really appreciate some ratings and or reviews for the show, because aside from word of mouth, those are the best ways for us to get new listeners. And someone must be doing word of mouth, because I think we got a couple new listeners, so hey, welcome. Glad you guys could make it. But ratings and reviews will make it so you don't have to talk to other people. You can just post those. You can put us at 4 or 5 stars, because those are the 2 ratings that we're worth. And you know that. We know that.
Yeah, we know our worth here on the Literal Cat Podcast.
But yeah, that star rating is going to tell the algorithm that you like this show. And it's going to show other people this show that you like.
Yeah, all from the comfort of your own home. You have the power in the palm of your hand, assuming you're listening on a mobile device.
Yeah, which you probably are, because, like, who listens to podcasts on the computer?
Yeah.
I do that sometimes.
I do too.
Putting ourselves on blast today.
Exactly. But if you are a more social person, and you have friends that you play TTRPGs with, every single character sheet that we've ever made for this show is all up online for free at bit.ly/literalcatpod. So you can take that to your GM, or maybe you have a friend that you know is running a campaign or is in a campaign of some kind, and you're like, hey, check out this cool funky character, and they're like, whoa, that little guy is so awesome. How'd you get this idea? And you're like, well, actually, I listen to this really cool podcast, and yeah, you go from there.
Yeah, we really need to make it one of those corporate training videos like they do for handing out, signing customers up for an employee or for a rewards program.
We'll put that one up on TikTok. How about that?
We're never making this video, guys.
No, it's probably not going to happen.
I say that, but I've also said that about other things I did as a joke, so.
Listen, Joel, if we commit to the bit hard enough, I think we could get some people in.
Maybe. Anyway, finally, if you've got the time and or the money, let's be real, we have a Patreon. I guess you don't have to pay money to be part of the Patreon. Some of the posts still go out to just everyone. But like, if you do want to throw a little money our way to give us some support, give us maybe a little bit of a budget for the constant acquisition of new RPGs, then for $2 a month, we've got the tier that lets you access the calendar, so you can see our production schedule, as it were. You can also get the VIP rank in the Discord server by joining the Patreon at any tier.
You get your own roll card and a special color to your name, so other people can look at it and be like, whoa, that's a Patreon member posting in the Discord.
Yeah, that guy's special.
Yeah.
Anyway, you also, at the $5 tier, we've got some good stuff going up on there. The second half of the thing that you heard at the beginning of this month, up on the Patreon. Wait, no, this is going out in September, isn't it?
Yes.
The second half of the all cats, not the same game, but all cat TTRPG actual play session we did, Herding Cats, at the beginning of August that you heard. Yeah, the second half of that is up on the $5 tier on Patreon. As is, maybe at this point, the playtest session that I did and recorded of the game I'm working on, where we stole some government cheese while playing as a bear, mouse, raccoon, and just one regular guy.
I forgot we had the regular guy there.
Yep. I mean, he's not a regular guy. He was an action hero.
Oh, true. But yeah, that one's a good one.
I'm in the process of editing part 1 of that right now. It might not be a 2-parter, but at the very least, the first part will be up on Patreon sometime, either this month or next month. Probably this month. So yeah, there's some stuff up there at the $5 tier for our patrons.
Yeah.
That's not for the rest of you.
Yeah, you're gonna fork over the cash. This is the world's worst robbery. Put the money in the bag if you feel so inclined.
Yeah, if you really feel like it, put the money in the bag.
Yeah.
Also, here's some entertainment in exchange for putting the money in the bag.
And if not, no worries. Don't, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, this isn't a real gun.
This isn't a real gun. This isn't even a stick up. Have a nice day.
Yeah. So anyway, what have you been up to? Anything you want to tell our audience about?
I haven't been up to much. I haven't been posting online a lot recently, but I am still active on Twitch, Twitter, Tumblr, and TikTok, all at Avalon Alchemist. I'm looking into posting some more stuff here soon. Got things cooking. I'll have more info on that at a later date, but keep your eyes and ears open. What about you, Joel? What you got going on?
Well, at this point, I am probably nearing the end of Dragon Age Origins. Maybe started on the DLC. We'll see. I'm definitely still playing Dragon Age Origins at this point. On my streams over at Omammer VT. That's right. I am now Omammer VT on all platforms.
Oh, on all platforms? You got those?
Yeah, I
Nice.
found a name that I can have on every single platform. So no more Zero Mammer, it's Omammer VT everywhere.
Hell yeah, we love that.
I do, that's for sure.
Does the VT stand for VTuber?
Yeah, that's typically what people use that for.
Virtual tuber. Love that.
Yeah, so far it's been more fun than being a flesh tuber was.
That is fair. As a flesh tuber myself, gets a little whack sometimes. Sometimes you got people coming into your chat and saying some out-of-pocket stuff.
Oh, that doesn't get better when you're a VTuber.
Oh. Yeah.
Not that I'd know. So far, the only person who's been in my chat is you and my other friends. But that's cool.
Yeah, that's how everybody starts out.
Yeah. I'm posting the videos on TikTok and YouTube and stuff, so surprisingly, my VOD YouTube is growing faster than everything else.
Nice.
That's Omammer VODs, by the way.
Good to know.
Yeah, anyway, I think we've dragged this on long enough. We need to go. There's another episode to record.
Yeah, get back to your immersive, fun TTRPG episode.
What they said.
Hey Hey all you journers out there, this is Journey Sitwell. If you're new to this channel, we're all about searching out the mysteries of the supernatural and trying to disprove what doesn't sit well with us. On today's special episode, I thought we could do a little introduction to the members of my new investigative team. Let's get started with my friend Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hi, my name is Dan Ryan, and I go to college, and that is all, and I am normal. Can you get the camera off me, please?
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Dan. And this is Mordecai.
Yo, what's up, dude? Is it cool if I burn for this?
Okay, look, Mordecai, I don't want to get demonetized. Can you please just put that away right now, please? Stop.
Yeah, one sec. Okay, what's up, everybody? I'm Mordecai Bridges, and I'm a friend to magical creatures and beings alike, including Dan, my best friend.
Great! Thanks, guys. And now for the sponsor of this week's episode. This week's sponsor is, Memester of the Week.
Memester of the Week is a Monster of the Week actual play podcast starring these three weirdos as they go investigate strange happenings and fight what goes bump in the night.
You can find Memester of the Week wherever you listen to podcasts, if you're a podcast person. That's all for today's video. How does that sit with you? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more spooky content, and hit that bell to be notified whenever I release a new spooky episode. See ya!
So next step is our relationships. So relationships are like a fundamentally important part of base Monsters and Other Childish Things, because you can use your relationships to increase your dice pool.
Okay.
You can literally use the power of friendship to be okay, I'm thinking about how my mom helped me study, so I'm gonna do well on the test. And so we start with 6 dice of relationship, and so we have to split it across at least 2 relationships because they only go up to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a special kind of relationship with our monster called a bond, which has no dice attached to it.
Gotcha.
Is that also marked here in the relationship tab, or?
I have always put it in there.
All right.
But I don't think it ever actually says to put it there. So who can say?
All right. So we have our monster that is bonded to us. What other relationships? I think Ava has to be our relationship, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And these are with NPCs. They're not
oh, yes,
with the other players.
Yeah, these are with NPCs that the game master is going to deftly weave into the world of our small American town.
Okay.
So what's our relationship with Ava? We thinking very close, devoted.
Wyatt has only been alive for 2-ish years, and who knows what a cat's perception of time is like. But I don't know if my parents, when I was about elementary school age, I was yes, this is the closest thing that I understand to a universal constant. So I imagine that it's going to be pretty high.
Yeah, maybe a 3 or 4.
All right. I'm leaning towards 4 because he's a devoted lap cat. Ava is sending him to school, so she cares about him a lot. I think 4 is a good number.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, who else? We gotta make up some.
I think we can spin it here as Wyatt also knows another cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody you met in school.
Yeah, maybe. Ooh, another classmate.
Well, I mean, if we're going to add that, we should probably say Jonathan Nebula, right?
Yeah.
You know what? There we
That's
go.
our 1.
That's our 1.
Makes sense. And then you said we have 10, right?
We have 6.
Oh, 6. Okay. So we can have another 1.
We can have another 1. Or our relationship with Mr. Nebula can be a 2.
I see.
I'd say let's add... We need this... This cat is around a lot of other cats.
Yeah.
I feel like we should add 1 that...
Yeah.
They have a... they're on first name basis.
Yeah,
least.
having Wyatt be friends with a cat sounds really cute.
All right.
I mean, it will be a superficial relationship at the start of the game, but
oh yeah,
so probably not one of the housemates.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, another cat in class.
Yeah.
They see each other, they give like the head nod, and kind of move on with their days.
I don't know why this just planted itself in its head, but like a cat named Marnie.
Marnie. Okay.
I don't know. That sounds pretty
Like
cute.
the Pokemon character?
Was that what I'm thinking of? Okay. I do this shit all the time where I'm like, what is a good name for a character? It's this. And then I'll turn to my roommate and it's like, have you heard of a character that's with this name? And then my roommate will be like, yes, it's this. And I'm like, oh, oops.
This is my cat, Scolipede. I mean, if it is another cat from class, we can do literally anything because people will name their cats whatever they want.
This is my cat, Reggie Gigas.
Reggie Gigas.
I don't know. Would someone have Wait. 2007. Yes, Reggie Gigas existed in 2007.
Okay.
Ooh. I see that we're approaching a Mexican standoff where no one wants to make Reggie Gigas the cat real, but we all love it too much to deny anyone else.
What about Rayquaza?
Okay, I do have an
Rayquaza.
alternate idea.
Okay.
This started as me thinking of Reg Ice, but what I always nicknamed my Reg Ice back in the day is Regis Philbin after
What? After like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire guy?
Yeah.
This is Reg Ice Philbin.
Reg Ice Phil. All right, we have to write that down. Come on.
How do you spell Philbin? Is it PH or F?
Philbin.
Incredible. Reg Ice Philbin is... I can see why they're not great friends. He's like, this guy's cool, but he's got a bit of a weird name, so I kind of keep my distance in class, you know? Alright.
Okay.
Some 10-year-old was allowed to name their cat.
Mom, Dad, please, can I get a cat? I love my Reg Ice. And I love Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's my favorite primetime TV show.
Okay, by the time I started doing this, it was because of Regis and Kelly, the daytime talk show, but...
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Are you the kind of person who's watching Good Morning America, getting ready for school?
My parents did watch Good Morning America while we got ready for school, yes.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. You really were in a small town, because I did the exact same thing. That was my life for 12 years, Joel.
Incredible.
And then on days with 2-hour delays.
Oh, you're just sitting on the local news channel, waiting, fingers crossed.
And then The View comes on, and that's how you know. That's this is the filler episode of a day.
The View. What was The View on? I didn't have cable, so...
The View was on ABC, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yes, it was. Well,
it would have come on after Good Morning America and Regis and Kelly.
Yes, exactly.
Damn. I watch different news channels, I guess.
What were you, CBS, Fox News?
I think we were a Fox News family, for sure. I think that's just what we had. Fox 59, I remember.
Ooh.
Why 59? No fucking clue.
It was the channel.
I think it was channel 7, though.
Maybe if it was pre-programmed, for me, Fox was definitely channel 59.
Dang. Maybe that was after we got cable. I don't know. I was a kid. Do you expect me to remember what news channels were on?
I expect you to have perfect memory of your childhood, actually.
I have some terrible news for you.
So, our last step is probably the most involved one. Now we have to make the monster.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's just its own step. Fill out the monster sheet.
So, the monster rules begin on page 39, and monster creation itself begins on page 42.
Building your very own monster.
Every monster has an appearance, hit locations, a personality, a way to hide, and a favorite thing.
All right.
So what's our monster's name? We've already established this. Our monster is Sullivan.
Monster is Sullivan.
What's the appearance like?
I imagine that there's a cat with a weird, color of fur. I feel like this is what we have to do in spirit of the podcast.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
The monster also just has to be a cat, just kind of strange. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. Just kind of strange, like...
I think that maybe the cat has like really sharp claws or like maybe like too many teeth or something like that. But
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah.
but I think it is still like fairly cat shaped.
Yeah.
Like two-
So a cat-shaped cat
Cat-shaped cat with...
with, like, claws and teeth that are maybe a little too big and a little too numerous. Just maybe, like, I don't know, 7 claws per foot instead of 4. Maybe this cat does have an opposable... No, sorry, I can't do the cat with hands. And then I like the idea. Maybe just like, you would think maybe a few too many teeth.
How many is a few too many, you think? Like...
Maybe it's different every time you look.
That sounds really good. I like that.
It's like you see it with a few too many teeth one time, and you look later and it's like, wait, that's not as many teeth as I counted before. Am I imagining things?
And then, of course, Ava can't tell because this cat just gets lost in the background. Blends in.
And you know her
Yeah.
eyesight's going, and it's just a weird cat.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
plenty of weird cats.
Maybe it has horns that look just kind of like regular old cat ears.
Ooh.
If you're not looking too closely.
Okay.
Then the monster's personality.
So it is in this section. We do know that monsters aren't from around here. They look after their kids. They are good at hiding, and nothing can stop a monster except for another monster. Generally, monsters have like fairly positive relationships with their kids, except like with, in a standard Monsters of Other Childish Things, it's like your monster is your best friend who does love you and wants the best for you, except it isn't human and doesn't know what that's like, so it tends to get you into big trouble always.
In this case, do we think that maybe this monster is a bit of an enabler of our destructive personality?
Oh, yeah. Like, oh, this makes you happy. Like, I want to see you happy, so I will also glasses off the table with you.
I will help you identify
Okay.
which glasses can fall off the table.
Yeah, or maybe just anything that's in maybe a bit of a precarious position.
And you know for certain that when something makes a loud crashing sound as it flies apart into a million pieces onto the floor, Sullivan is, of course, nowhere to be seen, and only
Of course.
Wyatt is there.
Yeah.
Of course. But never around for the fallout.
Yeah.
Enabler of Wyatt's destructive tendencies, but never around for the fallout. That is very, very evocative. I think we're doing good here.
Okay.
Your monster's favorite thing is a huge motivator and endless source of fascination for the creature. Monsters, given their druthers, will indulge in their favorite things to excess, which can be funny, tragic, or both. If presented with a big, tempting opportunity to indulge its favorite thing, a monster will be hard-pressed to pass it up if there isn't something important it should be doing instead. Even then, I want to circle back around because we were talking about one of Wyatt's favorite things being yarn, and I think it would be kind of cute if this like extra dimensional like demon cat who doesn't understand what it's like to be a cat but is a cat anyway just also really likes yarn.
I think that would be really funny. It's just like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this in all of my travels. What the hell? Yarn is actually how they pronounce yawn in the South.
So next, my monster's way to hide. So generally, monsters, they also have this way to make it look as though they do not really exist. Generally, regular humans, they kind of get a little freaked out by monsters, and monsters have kind of adapted by making it so that when they are not doing their monster thing, they're kind of harmless. All monsters can spot each other, even when they're hidden, unless they have like a special power. So, yeah. Could it be, this is just me spitballing here. Could it be that maybe Sullivan's fur pattern can, like, change at will, kind of like a chameleon?
I was thinking about that too.
So, like, when Sullivan is just, like, chilling out, it looks like a normal cat. But when Sullivan is really beating the brakes off of another monster, it happens to be purple on blue and with some interestingly, legally distinct spots on. So, so that no one really gets sued.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Type of color changing fur and movable spots, maybe.
I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
If you can change the color of your skin, and you can move those spots around.
Yeah.
Also thinking, I said spots because, like, one of the first things that came to my mind with that was, crap, I can't remember the name of the show. Maggie and the something monster or whatever.
Was it like one of those, like, Nick Jr. type shows?
Yeah, but, like, she had this monster that would follow her around, and, like, she could, like, remove his spots for stuff. God, I can't remember.
Maggie and the Ferocious Beast?
Maggie and the Ferocious Beast, yes. Yeah.
This is Oh my goodness gracious.
Incredible.
I remember this. Oh, this show is so cute.
I never liked that the monster had, like, basically just a human face.
It is kind of a little creepy.
It is.
Nowadays.
So yeah, color changing for hiding. Pretty good. Good hiding skill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anything else to add to that, or do we...
I think we can move on.
Yeah, I think we can move on. That'll help it blend in, I think.
Truly.
So this next section about a relationship that my monster has stolen or borrowed, this is a fun little mechanic that we cannot really interface with at character creation. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Okay.
Basically, you can use your relationship dice to juice your monster's dice pool.
Okay.
And also, there is another mechanic called kicking butt and taking names, where if you beat another kid's monster, you kick their butt. That is what the mechanic is called. And you take some of the dice from that monster's dice pool and you add it permanently to your dice pool. And if you defeat another monster so thoroughly that they don't have any dice left in 3 adjacent hit locations, you get to steal dice from that kid's relationships, and
Jesus.
you can use that to juice your own monster for free.
Incredible.
And that is taking names. So
Interesting.
we're not going to be using that today because Sullivan hasn't murdered anybody quite yet. It's not not actual murder. You know, when you're kicking butt and taking names, no one's dying.
Yeah. In-game.
I hope.
in-game.
Yeah. Now comes this is the most complex part. And I'm glad that we saved it for the end. Because now I get to tell you all about hit locations and dice pools and other stuff as well. So, as you may have noticed, we, as Wyatt, have 10 hit locations on our feet, guts, hands, brains, and face. And this will allow us to form a sort of mental model when we're making our monster. So when you attack something in this game, what you do is you roll your dice pool and you're looking for matches. So you're looking for like, it's kind of like Yahtzee, where like you're looking for like pairs of numbers on the die. And let's say you get what's called a set.
Mm-hmm.
And the set is 3 by 3. So you get 3 dice that all have 3 on the die. So that corresponds to Wyatt's guts location, because it's location 3 through 6.
Okay.
I think I follow.
it is a lot more simple than it sounds. We now have to design a monster, and we get to put the hit locations that we want them to have. It's, how do I put this? The long and short of it is that we have to disperse 10 hit locations across the monsters. We have to make like targetable body parts for this monster. There's an example on page 52 of the book. The rules of hit locations are that they have to be sequential. So you can't have like hit locations 1, 3, and 5. It has to be like 1, 2, 3. And the amount of hit locations that we give a single, I think they're called bits, is the mechanical term for them. But the number of hit locations that we give to a single bit determines the dice pool that we have for that bit. And it also gives us, we can spend those dice. We can make the die pool smaller to give the bit qualities and extras, which allow us to do things like make a thing attack, or we can give it extras like it's wicked fast so that it goes first, or it's gnarly, so that means it does more damage when it hits something. I think, just as an example for, I think that we can use Wyatt, because Wyatt is a cat and Sullivan is a cat. We can use the hit locations that Wyatt has as kind of like a basis for Sullivan. And I think that would make it a lot easier. But if anyone listening to this has the harebrained scheme to go play Monsters and Other Childish Things, I will warn you that this is the most complicated thing in the game. Everything else is normal and like straightforward, but this stuff, it's kind of bonkers.
Sounds like there's a lot going on in this section.
There is quite a bit going on in this section. It's all like tag based. It was 2007. Game design has progressed. I'm not saying that Monsters and Other Childish Things is like this perfect super game. It is, however, my favorite one. So I will do everything I can to make this as painless as possible.
All right. We will work with what we got.
Okay. So a cat has, I'm thinking, like 5 body parts that I can like think of as like these are like separate things that you could, I don't know why I am thinking about like why like what it would be like to target a cat in vats, like in Fallout.
Yeah.
But that's where my brain is going.
We got the head,
so I'm thinking,
the body, the legs, the tail. What's the 5th one? Ears?
Yeah, and then little kitty ears.
All right.
I think we can assign 2 hit locations to each of these things, and that will make this whole process a lot easier. I think mechanically this monster may be a bit less good. We're not concerned with making it optimal, right?
I was thinking, like, if we're gonna do ears as a hit location, I would think 1 for the ears, and then bump the body and the legs up to, like, both of them up to 3 to, like, fill in that space.
Ooh, I like that. So it's like the ears are 1 hit location, the tail is 1 hit location, and then the legs and the body are 3 each.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that.
And then,
okay.
yeah, the head is 2.
Yeah. So then ears 1, and then we should probably mark this as like head, ears 1, head 2-3, body
4 to 6.
4 to 6, legs 7 through 9, and then tail 10.
Okay.
So every hit location that we give a bit gives that hit location 5 dice as a dice pool. I'm reading from page 42, building your own monster. Like kids, monsters have 10 hit locations, but most monsters don't have the same hit locations as kids or even the same number of hit locations. You decide how many hit locations your monster has, which numbers apply to each location. But a single location can't have more than 4 hit numbers associated with it. I did not know that part, but it's a good thing that we are following the rules here.
Mm-hmm.
And no monster can have fewer than 4 hit locations total. Otherwise, it's up to you.
Cool.
Each hit location number has... So what it's saying is we have to have at least 4 bits, and the bits can't have more than 4 of the 1 through 10 numbers associated with it.
Okay.
We already finished that part.
Gotcha.
We're great. Each hit location number has 5 dice linked to it. That's 50 fat happy dice total. These dice are what you use to describe your monster and buy special abilities. So if one hit location has 3 numbers assigned to it, location numbers 3 through 5 for instance, it gets 15 dice.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Now, it is very important, and this is a rule that we've kind of glossed over because it has almost nothing to do with character creation, but the highest dice pool that you can go to in Monsters and Other Childish Things is 10. So you're only ever rolling at most 10 dice. And that means that if you have something that has a 15 die pool in this game, that means that we have to spend it or lose it, basically.
Gotcha.
Now, 10 dice is a lot, so we can afford to spend some stuff.
Gotcha.
The way that I like to do this is kind of like I go through all the qualities first, and then I do the extras. I've done this a couple of times. It's just easier in my brain to do that. But I think for the purposes of like making this a podcast that is listenable, we should go one by one, top to bottom, and then just do qualities and extras for each bit.
Okay.
With all that out of the way, ears. So, hit locations have qualities and extras, as seen on pages 43 and 44. A quality, there are 3 kinds of qualities. It either attacks, defends, or is useful. Every hit location gets one for free, and then you get to pick another one at the cost of 1 die. So, like, Sullivan's ears are probably useful for something.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I just remembered. We said that he has ear-shaped horns, not literal ears.
Oh, true.
That's right. Oh, my goodness.
So those would be attack, actually, probably.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. So, quality is attacks, and right now, that would it would give us a 5 die pool to attack with the horns.
Okay.
Generally, this is going to be... I think we need to do something with this to make it kind of like worth rolling on, because a 5 die pool is a bit fraught, I think.
It's kind of low.
Yeah, it is a little low. So what I'm thinking is that maybe these horns are... We can take 1 die off of the pool to make it gnarly, so that when it does hit, it hits harder.
Okay.
We could bring the dice pool down to 4, and we'll put attacks, gnarly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Very cool. Now the head,
Probably useful.
probably useful. We could. What is our head useful for?
Thonkin.
Thonkin?
Thinking, thonkin.
Making plans.
Yeah.
Making plans?
It's the brains of the operation.
That's cool. I like that. I think we can maybe push this useful thing as it does something. So like on the page 43 in the book, it gives some examples. This monster can use this location to do something really useful, like flying, tracking by scent, walking on walls, burrowing, possessing people's minds, phasing through matter, or, say, swallowing anything up to the size of a pony and vomiting it back up in perfect working order on command. Even if the poor pony would really, really wish he were dead at that point.
Jesus.
God. So,
I mean, the head would be, like Joel said, the brains of the operation, obviously. So, like,
Yeah.
that's what Sullivan would use for the color changing aspect, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Or would that be the body?
I think you're right. I think that would be more body.
I wonder if we can, like, use the head location to, like, give Sullivan the ability to, like, I'm pulling from my well of cat experiences, and I know that cats, at least the cats that I have been around, they love chewing on stuff.
True. I do think the, like, ability to swallow and spit stuff out, though, like, we all know cats with hairballs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know about up to the size of a small pony, but, like, maybe it can hold things that are bigger than the cat's body appears it can hold.
I like that.
I like that.
How would we describe that in one word? Couple words, I guess.
The phrase hammer space mouth comes to
Hammer
mind.
space mouth. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We have such a big die pool that, what if Sullivan has just ended up swallowing a lot of things and can always just, for some reason, you know, like, cough up something that is useful to defend against an oncoming attack.
Okay.
That could be something.
Okay.
Yeah, just randomly spit up a couch or something, you know. Or maybe not a couch. What's the single seat called? The easy chair, right?
Oh, like a lazy boy.
Yeah, this cat just swallowed one of those at one point. Can spit it up to basically block any incoming damage, because that's a very easy thing for a cat-sized object to hide behind.
Yeah,
True.
That makes sense. So we can also knock head down to a 9 dice pool, and we can give it the quality defends.
Okay.
What else can we do with this?
We don't technically... It's only like with things that are 15 that we have to spend it, or we lose it down to 10.
Yes, that's correct.
So I agree it's a lot of dice for something that is just like a utility roll, but I'm just saying, if we want to keep moving, we can revisit it if we can think of another use later.
Yeah.
But
I am imagining a world in which our lovely game master is making us roll 9d10 to find the one thing inside of Sullivan's mouth that will help us in this situation. And I'm kind of here for it. So, let's move on to the body.
You're probably gonna find it.
Yeah.
I think we've already established that body is going to be where
That's like
the
the
camouflage comes
thing.
in.
Yeah.
So useful.
So this might be would this be defense, actually?
Oh, true.
It could be both. I can very clearly, like, see it's, like, useful for camouflage, defends, and also this is my personal favorite extra in this game. We could also give it sharing, which is an extra that allows a monster to extend the effect of a hit location as if the kid, like, had it.
Oh.
So, I think Sullivan can, like, also, like, change our lovely cats.
Okay.
So it can change other things color too. Interesting.
Yes.
Useful, defense, camouflage, sharing.
So useful, defends, and sharing. That brings us to a 13 die pool. What else can we do with... Ooh, I know what we can do. We can give it tough times 3.
Oh, okay.
This part of the monster is pretty tough. For each level of tough, knock 1 point off any damage it suffers on this location every time.
That is very good.
Ooh, all right.
So what I'm thinking of here is that, like, on a standard die roll, you're probably getting, I don't want to get into it's like too nerdy dice math, but, like, generally 4 to 6 range is going to be, like, where we're hitting most often because of the physical realities of dice.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do get hit, we get hit less hard more often.
I like that.
Okay.
That brings us to useful defense, sharing tough times 3 with a die pool of 10. That is so good.
That is very
I like
good.
that.
So legs, 7 through 9. Now we're getting into, like, some of the fun stuff. So cats gotta have claws, right? So legs, definitely attacks, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
We already know this cat has a lot of claws.
So many claws.
Yes. What would be a good extra to have on these claws, or on the legs? I think if we give it awesome ×2.
Oh, what does awesome do?
Taken once, this lets you set one of the monster's dice for this hit location to any value you'd like before you roll the rest. Taken twice, this lets you change one die to any value you'd like after you roll them all.
Okay, I like that.
What that means is that not only do we get to attack with a large dice pool, but we also get to kind of like fix our math whenever we'd like.
God, I love cheating.
I also love cheating.
That's very good.
If we... what other extras can we put on to, like, show... My idea is not that, like, we're going to make a cool, good monster to, like, put in a game. But I'm also, like... I'm really thinking, like, how do I showcase what these things can do? We could also give the legs wicked fast.
Okay.
Wicked fast means that your monster is faster at being wicked. Each level of wicked fast adds to the width of an action when figuring out the order in which things happen. That basically means that, like, when it comes to speed, we always win ties.
Okay.
So if speed is ever something that we care about, we always win. And wicked fast can kind of like get into a bit of a pissing contest where it's like some things are wicked fast, and then to get faster than that you need wicked fast too.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry about that too much. So we've got attacks is free, awesome ×2, wicked fast. That brings us down to 12D.
Do we want to do wicked fast ×2 as well?
I'm thinking...
Or do we have some other extra?
I'm looking at burn as an extra, and I'm it's not really very cat-like to just be like, oh yes, the claws also set stuff on fire, but that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. We could go gnarly again, to be honest.
We could go, yes. We could do gnarly ×2, and then we're fixing our die rolls. It's fast, and also we're doing more damage when we hit, which is really strong. Then we're at 10 dice, and then I think that's it. I think that's all we really need to do.
Yeah.
And then the tail. What can the tail do?
Choke?
Choke?
Ooh.
So, like, you know, it's like maybe it's more like a monkey tail. Like they have some grip strength in it.
Ooh,
yeah.
we could give it useful prehensile.
I'm sorry, is that a word?
Yes, prehensile means that you can grip with it.
How do you spell that?
Prehensile.
Okay, cool.
It's not like an extra or anything. It's just like this is the thing that it's useful for. Is that Sullivan can grab stuff with his tail. I think overall this is pretty good. I
think this is a very interesting character and monster that we've created here.
It really is. Is that the final step?
Yes, and it only took 2.5 hours.
There we go.
That's not too bad.
2.5 hours for 2 characters, essentially. Yeah, take it.
Yeah, I mean, this was one of the ones that has, like, multiple steps. Like, it's one of those things. It's probably going to come out to, 90 minutes when we're all said and done, but...
Mm-hmm. And we also, took a small little break in the middle there.
Yep, gotta remember that. So, did we break any rules? I don't think that the kid was supposed to be a cat.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I don't think that the kid is supposed to be a cat, but other than that, I hesitate to say that we did not interpret the rule either to the spirit or the letter. I think we were perfectly fine in our rule following, save for the fact that our character is a young cat who is in obedience school as opposed to a regular school.
Incredible.
Yeah, I think, that's our deal.
All right.
So with that in mind, Jack, is there anything you want to plug here at the end?
I don't really do much on the internet right now because of reasons. but you can follow me at Jack Frost Doll on Tumblr, where I only post terrible things sometimes. Like last night, I was going through my friend's blog and I found I found Game Grumps RPF on my friend's blog, and I was like, yeah, I'll reblog that. And I, it was just like at the middle of the night. I was like, these people need to go to bed anyway. I'll flashbang them with YouTubers Aaron Hansen and Dan Avidan having a very high intensity conversation. Yeah, sure.
No, why not?
That's fine.
Yeah, they can live with that.
But yeah, that's it from me.
Alrighty.
There you go. Avalon, you know what you gotta do now.
I know. I gotta admit, this one's not my best work, but I think it works out. Alright. How will this lonely cat get a date?
Dating cats?
I'm thinking of like Tinder.
Not even close.
Is that where we're going? Okay.
He'll...
Oh, cat Cupid?
Not close. It's more punny.
Okay. I'm ready.
He'll whisker away.
How dare you say that wasn't your best work? I have watched I've listened to like a third of these episodes and previously your cat puns are like, yeah, I breathed through my nose a little bit, but that one actually got an actual laugh out of me.